Okay, I'm doing a vegetarian dish today with chickpeas. You may see my assistant from time to time poke her head up, which is Abby. We won't mention her, we won't look. I just want to go over a few preparation things. I don't want to sort of bore you and have to run the whole thing and be there chopping everything. So what I've done, I've got halloumi. This is rennet-free halloumi. I've chopped that into squares. I've got cashew nuts and I've just chopped them up, crushed them. Here is a leek. I've taken the outer leaf of the leek off, washed it, chopped the leek, and also chopped up carrot, a bit of garlic, and I've got two types of carrot in there. I've got the dark carrot and the normal carrot. So that's leeks and carrot ready to go. A chili. Now I've left the seeds in the chili because you can't have any chili, go away. I left the seeds in the chili because I like it stronger, all right? Now, this is a tip I want to show you. I'm using silver beet. Now, this, if you just cook this, the leaf, and leave the stalk, it becomes chewy. So if you just cut off the leafy bit, which you can then put to one side and chop up, with the stalky bit, oh look, there's a bit more chili there I didn't chop up, missed that. Lucky Miss Abigail didn't get the chili, otherwise I don't think she'd be too happy. So there's more chili. If you just take the stalk, all right, and just chop the stalk, then that softens down when you stir fry. Now it's not really a stir fry dish in that sense, but I will be cooking all of these and softening them down. So I'll get on now and prepare and then come back to you in a minute once I've got these prepared. So I've also added spinach, English spinach, and I'm doing the same with the stalks because, I don't know, I don't want a bit of crunch, but I prefer not to have too much of a crunch. So they're all going to be cooked longer. What I want to try and do with these, and it is a tip actually that I got off Jamie Oliver, and it's a good tip, is to cook your vegetables, the harder vegetables, on a lower light so they caramelize. So you're intensifying the flavor. So we're gonna first of all, we're just gonna brown our halloumi, all right? Then we're gonna add our vegetables. We're gonna take the halloumi out, put that to one side, which you'll see. The last thing we're gonna put in are the chickpeas. Oh, we're gonna add some herbs. We've got a bit of oregano, and I've got a bit of lemon thyme. All right, so lemon thyme. You can use dry herbs. Don't get hung up on it. I chose not to today. I use fresh herbs, but I use dry herbs. So there's no problem using dry herbs. So you don't have to, become obsessive about it. This is an immune enhancing recipe. And I'm also adding to it the Optimal Essentials immune powder. I'm adding a tablespoonful into the mix, all right? It'll be more like a thickener because the juices from the spinach and the vegetables, and I'll add a little bit of water, and with the chili and everything, then I'll add a tablespoonful of the Optimal Essentials immune powder, will thicken it slightly, so it'll make it creamy. So you're getting the benefit of one of the Optimal Essentials fabulous powders. Should be fabulous, I make them, which we're very proud of. But this recipe I've made particularly to enhance. Now, I'm going to be using chickpeas, adding to it, because chickpeas are just one of the most amazing beans you can get. One of the most fabulous legumes available. They've got everything in. If you look them up and see what they've got in there, they've got fiber, they've got zinc, they've got potassium. They're just a multivitamin pill in themselves. So all of this is immune enhancing. We've increased the protein a bit with the halloumi cheese and with our cashews. So it is primarily a vegetarian, not vegan, because we're using, this is a halloumi cheese, rennet-free halloumi cheese, but it's not a vegan dish. Now, there's some really good vegan cheeses around. In fact, I tried one the other day. I hadn't tried sort of vegan cheeses for ages. And to be honest with you, when I used to first try them, they were awful. But there's some great ones now. With the vegan revolution, I think people have really got into the vegan cheese. So you don't have to use a halloumi. You can use vegan halloumi. I saw it. I didn't buy it. Probably should have done, but it didn't make any difference. But you can do that. So if you're vegan, you can just change this around to suit yourself. All right. And you can look, you can add whatever you've got in the cupboard. You know, if you want to add spinach leaves, if you want to add more vegetables, if you want to add zucchini, you can change this around. This is not hard and fast, right? This is not a recipe written in stone. This is a recipe that you can change. But the basis of it will be the chickpeas, the chilies to give it that bit of extra bite. It's a complete immune. And of course, you can add the immune powder to it. You don't have to if you don't have any. Well, maybe buy some. But it's going to be really good for you. So I've got a nice pan here. You don't have to use a wok, any sort of big-sided pan. And I'm just heating up some oil, some olive oil. So I've got some virgin, beautiful South Australian McLaren Vale olive oil. Just heating that up. And I'm going to take the halloumi and brown that over. Now, you've just got to watch it when you do halloumi. You just want to just brown it. You don't want to overcook it so it melts to nothing, all right? So you've got to have that little halfway measure, but we're going to put that in a minute. Let the pan get warm and cook the halloumi, and then take the halloumi out because we're going to add that afterwards, because we want it to brown, we want it to cook a bit, but we don't want it to overcook. So we're going to add that to the end of the meal and then mix it through with the cashews. But you'll see, we're going to go through this. So we've got a halloumi cooking. The other thing you can add is some grape juice. And I went to my local bottle shop and bought some grape juice.
That's not grape juice.
Of course, I asked for grape juice. They gave me grape, Clare Valley, Shiraz, Temperilla. Oh, okay, well, it's wine, all right? So I'm sorry about that. It's up to you. You can just get the boring grape juice, or you can get the grape juice with a little bit of alcohol added to it because of the flavonols. And don't laugh at me. There used to be a chef, I think it was Floyd, and he always used to have a glass of wine. Actually, I think he died of cirrhosis of the liver, but that's another story. But I'm just adding this. I'll just taste it just to make sure it's okay. I don't normally do this sort of thing, you know that. We make some beautiful wines in South Australia. That was just, you know, I'm going to go back to the shop and complain now, because I did ask for grape juice and he said, this is a wonderful grape juice, which it is. I'll just try another sip of that grape juice, actually. You can just get grape juice. You can get red grape juice. And you do get all of the grape seed extract and everything within the grape juice. I just prefer my grape juice with a little bit of alcohol. Don't judge me. Is now brown. You see we've got some nice browning on the halloumi. The other thing you could do is just actually have big slices and then chop them up afterwards. It's easier to turn over. In fact, if I was thinking about it, I probably wouldn't have cubed them. I would have just given the big slices and then it would be easier to turn them over. But I thought I'd cube them first. So there you go. You're learning on the run. So that's our halloumi, which is nice and brown. Okay, done. Halloumi. So now we're going to add our harder vegetables to bring them down. So these are all of our, now what we want to do is caramelize these. We want to get them a nice caramelization for them to start breaking down. We're going to add some herbs, a little bit of our lemon thyme. Beautiful. Oh, that's got a lovely smell. It really has. So lemon thyme and oregano or oregano, however you want to say it, and our chili. So now we're just going to add a teeny drop of water to that. So if you listen to the noise, you've got the sound, and we just want to add that little drop of water just to simmer that down. So what we're doing is we're using the caramelization of the natural sugars within the vegetables to intensify their flavor. Now that's going to take about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes to really cook that down. So we'll come back to that in about 10 minutes. Keep stirring from time to time. Keep stirring. We're really cooking it down now nicely, and it's starting to caramelize beautifully. Add a bit of salt to taste. You don't want too much. A little bit of black pepper to taste. And I'm using a little bit of the grape juice. Add it early in the cooking, just to lubricate. You want to burn off the alcohol and just leave the richness of the grape juice behind. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, the grape juice has settled down. The caramelization process has really gone on well. This has been about 15 minutes, all right? So that's nice now. So now we're going to add our leaf vegetables. So we're going to add our silver beet. No, don't argue with me. Everyone wants to be a movie star. Get in on the act. Okay. Shh. We're filming a video here. This is a cooking video. Thank you very much. Okay, so I've added our leafy vegetables, which is our silver beet. You know what they say? They say never work with children and animals. Well, I don't have any children around me at the moment, but I've got the animals. So I've added our leafy vegetables to it, all right? Then I'm going to add our chickpeas. Now, I've got organic chickpeas, and I use the juice as well to give the flavour. So use the whole lot, because that's going to add to the flavour. It's up to you how many you put in. I'm just going to add 1 tin. You can add 2 tins of chickpeas to this. I will write all this out and put this up with the video, all right, my recipe. But I'm a bit of a add a bit of this, add a bit of that cook. I get the basic idea, but like I like sort of add a bit of this and add a bit of that. So what we're going to do now is cook down, and we're just about there. We're just going to cook this spinach and the silver beet down. You can see this is our mix. And then all we've got to do is add the cashews, which we'll do in a minute, you'll see that, and the halloumi, stir that through right at the end. So there'll be about another 5 minutes. So probably, if you take prep time, because chopping your veggies and everything takes a little bit. Yeah, and look, you can use frozen vegetables. You can use frozen vegetable packs. You can use whatever you've got. You know, you can soak your chickpeas and boil them. It just takes time. I don't have a problem with using things to make life a bit easier. As long as I'm still keeping to basic healthy and good nutrition, then I'm relaxed about it. I like to use as much fresh vegetables as possible, but there's nothing wrong with frozen vegetables. So you can change this around. So if you allow the preparation time, chopping everything up, the cooking, this takes half an hour, roughly from beginning to go. Cooking time, probably 20 minutes of actual cooking time and 10 minutes of prepping time. So we're really nearly there now. We're on a highlight, and you can see it's all starting to come down. The silver beet and the spinach breaks down fairly quickly, and we've got a nice little bit of natural sauce going to that. Now we're going to add the immune powder, and that's going to thicken it all up. Keep stirring. We're really cooking it down now nicely, and it's starting to caramelize beautifully. Add a bit of salt to taste. You don't want too much. A little bit of black pepper to taste, and I'm using a little bit of the grape juice. Add it early in the cooking, just to lubricate. You want to burn off the alcohol and just leave the richness of the grape juice behind. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So what I'm doing now is I'm adding the immune powder. So I'm adding that as if I was adding corn flour, wholemeal flour. I'm adding the immune powder. Now you don't lose, the beautiful thing about this is you won't lose the benefits of the immune powder. It's still there. So I'm enhancing it, but what I'm doing is I'm using it as a thickener. So the wine that I added in there, the extra bit of water, the fluid itself from the vegetables will melt down with the powder, the immune powder, and we're going to get a creaminess, but we're going to supercharge the immunity, which I think you're not going to complain about too much if you've got extra immunity. Now it's going to add a nice flavour to it because It has a slight vanilla-y flavour, and with the chili, it's going to be lovely. So add our halloumi, turn the light off, stir that through. So stir the halloumi through, mixing it all through. You see it's got a lovely thickness now to it. It's almost got a creaminess to it. All right, so we're going to take it off the light. So now there's the serving time. I think Abby's getting a little bit boisterous. She knows it's dinner time. By the way, a piece of halloumi fell on the floor. She ate it. Just want you to know that Grudels seemingly like rennet-free halloumi a great deal. Might just have a little bit extra to that, add to my vitality. So, what we're going to do now is add a little sprinkle of our condiment. And I'm going to eat this because Jamie always does, so why can't I? That is good. Oh, it's got a nice bite. It's got the chili. You know what you could do? That's what I should have done. I might add this as an extra to the recipe. A little bit of lemon zest. Because I've got fresh lemons on my tree at home. I should have bought one. Think about it. Add a bit of lemon zest to it. But actually that's enough now. I want to sit down and finish this. I might have some more of that grape juice with it. Well, why not?